Alright guys, Hazink here, welcome back to the channel for another COOKIERUN Tower of Adventures video. So in this one, we are going to be jumping in and taking a look at raids. Right, now I've kind of tuned my setup a little bit to make things more comfortable for me. And that is, I am using my phone on a controller mount because it's better. Honestly, it's better. You can use like your backbone controllers and stuff like that, but to be honest, even though I've got one, I hate the fact I need to take my case off for it to fit, so I'll just use my controller mount instead. So let's jump in and we will see exactly what is going on. So we've got some goodies, surprise gifts. Hey, let's take these. Some additional summons, 10 special draws. So before we do the raid, let's add on to yesterday and let's see if we can get a couple more units. I do have some more units and I am going to go over them in a different video, but you can see I got crushed pepper cookie as well as chili pepper. The problem is they're both the same unit typing, so for me it's not ideal. Okay, I kind of would like to get the ranged unit from that pool, but hey, if we can get the lemon cookie, that'll do for me. I will take that and I'll be happy. So I'll jump in, I'll very quickly do this special draw in case I can get lemon zest. As you can see, I've done 3 in total. This is going to be my 4th summon on this banner. It's not looking good so far, but a bit like Star Rail, as people have pointed out. Yes, it does look like Star Rail. Even this bit here is a little bit reminiscent of Star Rail. When the door opens, you get the glow. You can tell what kind of rarity you're getting. But I've not pulled that unit, so I'll skip. And we can go in and see what raids are all about. So, raids are a social aspect of the game, okay? When you go into raids, you do get your raid team. You've got the ability to form your own party, okay? Or you can look for random people to join you within the world who will help you in your quest to take down whichever boss it is that's available to you, okay? Now, if you look at the raid conditions, you will see that different types of characters have different bonuses. So for this one in particular, I'm going to get a boost for using chili pepper, which is why I'm going to be using her. Now the other thing that you do need to be mindful of is you are currently playing a beta, okay? Now the beta has less people playing than you would have on an active game. So queuing times just now might be a little bit longer. I'll just do this while I'm speaking. Queuing times just now might be a little bit longer, okay? But you can form your own parties. Now this is good because what this means is they are going to add guild modes to this game, and if you've got guild mates, if you've got friends, we're going to see a full-fledged party here. If you've got guild mates, if you've got friends, you can strategize. You can have it set up so that you've got 2 people using one unit type, 2 people using the other unit type, so you can make sure you're squadded up to go in and do the most potential damage that you can possibly do during these events. Not only that, you are actually doing this as a live social game, okay? So you are currently going to be playing with people actively, okay? It's not going to be like any of these situations where you are maybe playing retroactively, they've maybe recorded their moves and you're just doing your stuff. You're actually in the game at the same time as these people and you are playing alongside them. So you can see here, we're all working together, we're all going to take down this boss. I'm probably going to do terrible because I am trying to talk at the same time as doing this, but as you can see, apart from that one person who is just kind of standing at the background, so I'm assuming they've either had a connection issue or they are literally just going to try and get some free rewards. So you can see here, if you use the strengths of your characters, you can actually do pretty well here. Chili Pepper's particularly good for this fight. I'm going to go over her kit in a video, but she actually specifically has her dodge move, which particularly is useful here, because you can see here, she'll return to the point. So, I'll show you one more time, okay? I jumped, she's left a chili pepper behind, and I can immediately go back there with her. So for this boss particularly, because of how he attacks with a small circle that then gets bigger, with an inside that's not attackable by him, I can actually, I'll show you here so that you can see it a bit better. I can jump, see the chili peppers left behind. After this attack, I can immediately go back and I'm attacking again. So you can see how this unit in particular is pretty strong for this raid. Now there is awards that we'll see at the end. The awards are given to people depending on performance, so you're going to get your usual affair, things that you would usually expect to see in games: most DPS, most healing, most buffing, least damage taken, stuff like that. You're going to get awards for that, and the awards will dictate different things like your reward payouts, etc. So there is a reason to try and play strategically and not record YouTube videos at the same time, because then you can obviously do a better job and get more of those rewards. And the thing about this is, by doing this mode, you do get gear drops. Now obviously lower levels, you're not going to get the highest levels of rarity, the best gear in the world, but you're still going to get gear that at this stage in the game is absolutely going to help you get more progress, beat more content, and overall get stronger. So we've took down the unit. Now we'll have a look at the results screen, and you can see the type of things that you get for raid, okay? Now bear in mind, this is a low level raid, not going to get the biggest and best rewards, but there you go, I've got basically armour. That's essentially what that is, that's armour. And you can see here that in this raid, I was clearly the MVP. I've got gold on everything. I was the MVP in this battle. Not unexpected. Hey, what can I say? I'm just that good. But anyway, so that is the initial raid that they've obviously put into the game. Now I'm going to have to get stronger, which I am going to work on. I'm just trying not to run too far ahead so that I can document this and let you guys see it on video and stuff like that. But I need to get stronger so that I can take on this stage, because my power is too low and I need to obviously get better. But if you look here, you can see that I've got a chance of getting random epic equipment, random rare, random uncommon. But if we go to here, I can get super epic. On this one we can get unique, on this one we can get unique as well, but you would expect the drop rates here to actually be higher. Okay, now the thing about rewards is you actually, to rank on the leaderboard, you've got to get to here. So you need to get to stage 4 for you to start ranking on the leaderboard. Okay, so you're not going to be rushing in to do that immediately. You're obviously going to have to build up to that, get stronger, clear story content, and that's going to make you stronger. And as you kit out your characters, you might have to do some of these lower level raids over and over again to get those drops, to aim for those epic drops that you can get, because ultimately that's what's going to lift your power level and allow you to take on harder content. Now the one thing I will say that I've noticed about this game is it's obviously player controlled, okay? So skill does play an element, which means you will be able to punch above your weight earlier than maybe you could in other games, okay? Because you can directly influence like how well you're doing essentially. Unless you're hitting a unit and doing no damage, right? You are going to be able to play, to actively play using your skills to potentially beat things that maybe you wouldn't be able to beat otherwise. So that's good, that is good. Another thing, I wanted to highlight this after yesterday. We were talking about touchscreen controls versus controller controls. Now, it doesn't matter what your preference is. If you've got an option, it's probably going to be better using a control pad. However, they've actually made certain little tweaks in the game that make using a touchscreen pretty much exactly the same. Like, there's a slight homing when you're close to a target. It will make sure you don't miss that target. It will home in towards them. So it's negating a little bit of advantage that someone who's using a controller setup would get over someone who is using a purely touchscreen setup, okay? So if you're someone who maybe watched that video yesterday and thought, oh crap, I don't have a control pad, maybe I'm not going to have as good an experience as someone else, do not worry. They've made up for that. They've basically implemented systems so that you're not basically being left behind because you don't have a control pad, okay? So that's very good in my opinion. They've definitely got more tweaking that they're going to be doing in the game, and hopefully they see a lot of changes. Like right now, there's just things that we don't have, okay? You're going to get guilds. Now, guilds are definitely going to happen, and I know that because you can see here, no guild. So they're going to be adding guilds. So things like raid, I would expect to see guild raids. I would expect to see team ups where you can purposely team up with other people, like I've said. You can strategize. So for example, if we look back at this raid, like I said, there's 2 different typings. You can make sure that you've got your entire team kitted out with 2 and 2. That way, strategy wise, you've got the greatest advantage of being able to beat the hardest stages, okay? So I like this. I think this is really good, really solid. It offers a really good way for you to play live multiplayer with your friends, with your guildmates, with your Discord friends, whatever it is you do. But they're not letting you down with the fact that they will match you up with people if you don't actually have friends. The other thing is, you know what I mean. The other thing as well is, obviously this game has got a mixed audience. It's got an audience of older people, which is fine, and it's also got an audience of younger people. Luckily, there isn't really anything like voice chat or anything, so if you're someone who maybe thinks, oh, I would let my kid play this, you don't really need to worry about any strange interactions during like voice chats or anything, because the game doesn't have anything like that. It does, just as a warning in case you are someone who is concerned about this, there is a messaging system, okay, but I don't think it's active like during the match. So as long as you're keeping an eye on what younger players are doing, I wouldn't be too concerned about things like that. But I just thought I'd mention that because I do know that some people are concerned about stuff like that in games of this type. But overall, I think so far this game is looking fantastic. I'm having a hell of a lot of fun with it. I'm going to push on, unlock more content to show you guys more stuff. I'm also going to go over the characters that are in the game currently, so that mainly when the game comes out on full launch, I will have something to look back on and see if they've changed, you know, if they've altered them, if they've buffed them, if they've changed their skills, all that type of stuff. Doing this now will give me the ability to refer to it later. But that is raids. It's looking good, it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to be pushing on to do a fair bit more of it later in the day. I've been Hazink, thank you for watching this video, and remember, if you're going to be looking for more of this content, I am going to be continuing to do this game when it comes out in full launch. I'm going to attempt to do something every day of the beta, so that you can find out a bit more, and yeah, just going to have fun with it. Comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.